Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Miss Me here. And my channel I do a variety of food review videos, Costco, Trader Joe's, and other shopping haul videos. Today's video is going to be a food review video. I'm super excited to try out this new Asian food item from my Costco. This is from the brand Synear, and this is their soup dumplings, Xiao, and this is their pork varieties. If you have been to my channel, I actually previously reviewed another variety of the Xiao from this brand. It's actually the chicken version, which is really great. I also got it from Costco, and a lot of my friends, they don't eat pork, so the chicken variety is great. But the traditional Xiao recipe is original flavor is the pork, and it's my husband's favorite. So I'm super excited to try this out with you guys. So this is the soup dumpling. If you've never tried a soup dumpling, one of the famous restaurants that you can go to that they have several locations in America is the Din Tai Fung. I'm pretty sure this is not like a Din Tai Fung quality, but as long as there's like a good flavor of the stuffing, good wrapper to stuffing ratio, and good soup flavor, I will be sold. And it's also great to have those frozen dumplings in the freezer, so when I'm too lazy to cook, I can just use these. So let's open this. There are different ways of cooking it. You could use a steamer, or you could use the pan-fried skillet. The original recipe, if you go to Din Tai Fung, is the steamer, so I'm going to be using the steamer for today. Oh, also, after today's video, make sure you check out my chicken variety food review, and we're going to check out the chicken one. And I really love the chicken one. That's what made me decide to purchase this one. This is what it looks like. The look of this, it looks just like the chicken variety. Of course, the pork one has more calories just because, you know, it's more of that fat. So this is what it looks like. The xiaolongbao itself, the bao itself, has more foldings than if I make it at home, which is a good sign. And also it's very full. It's like, you know, super cute. It's not like flat like the Trader Joe's frozen dumplings, which is another good sign. But guess what? The Trader Joe's xiaolongbao tastes so good. Okay, so we're gonna try. Okay, I don't think it comes with the sauce, which is one of the drawbacks, to be honest, because xiaolongbao, usually we dip it into the ginger sauce, which is a little bit soy sauce, a little bit vinegar, a little bit ginger, and sometimes some hot oil in there. And I previously in my videos I shared I don't really like ginger, but honestly, if you eat the pork, you do need a little bit of ginger to cut out the pork taste. It's one of the like combination of flavor together that tastes great rather than the ginger itself. Alright guys, we are over here. I am going to turn on the stove, and the always pan comes with this steamer thing, and what I do is I put like a steamer sheet. I honestly got this from Temu long time ago, and it still works. And you can also get it from Amazon. These steamer sheets are really helpful, and you can also just use the coffee filter sheets or parchment paper. They also work. So we're gonna put some buns in there, and as the water is boiling, we're gonna put it in there. Ta-da! Here are the buns. Make sure they're not touching each other when you put it in there, and make sure you use a steamer sheet or parchment paper or whatever so that it doesn't get stick. Sometimes I'm lazy, and I know it's a rookie mistake, and as a Chinese person myself, I shouldn't make those rookie mistakes, but sometimes I'm just lazy, right? And we're gonna close the lid. Alright, so according to the instructions, steam it in high heat for 10 to 12 minutes, then serve. So 10 to 12 minutes. So to be honest with you, I don't have any like fresh ginger today, so it's hard to make the fresh ginger sauce, but I do have ginger powder, which is not a great idea, but you could potentially make the dipping sauce with that. So we're gonna make the dipping sauce right now. Alright guys, we are going to make our dipping sauce. So I have all of the ingredients here. There are actually more ingredients that you could potentially use, and you can also buy fresh ginger, and obviously I didn't. So we're just gonna use some ginger powder today, but the quality of the sauce with the ginger powder is significantly less compared to if you just cut out some fresh ginger in there. I hate ginger. I don't eat it on its own. I hate the ginger taste when it comes to cookies and stuff, but I do use ginger in the sauce, or use ginger in cooking if I do make pork. So I have a little bit of ginger powder, but fresh ginger is so much better. I'm just gonna dump a tiny little bit of that in there. You don't need a lot of ginger. It's just for that little bit of that spice. And then we're gonna put soy sauce. So how much soy sauce you put with the vinegar, it really depends on what you want. Some people hate vinegar. I would just put a little bit of drip, a little drop, versus if you love vinegar, obviously, you could put a little bit more. You could use the 1-to-1 ratio or 2 soy sauce to 1 vinegar ratio, depending on which one you like more. 1-to-1 is definitely more sour, so I'm just gonna use 2-to-1 ratio, and I just eyeball it like my mom, like my grandma. That's how Chinese cook, we eyeball it. So how we do it is we smell it, and you can smell the vinegar, the ginger, the soy sauce. And honestly, when you smell it, if you feel like, oh, it's not sour enough, you can put more vinegar. Okay, this soy sauce is kind of strong. It's the Kikkoman. This is the Japanese table soy sauce. It's less sodium, which I love. And finally, I'm gonna use some chili oil, the spicy chili crisp, the chili oil, the hot oil from Laoganma. This one is not healthy because it has like additives and stuff. But if you want a little bit healthier version, go for the Trader Joe's. It doesn't taste as good, to be honest, but it's still pretty good. So you're gonna don't put too much hot oil if you don't like spicy food, or you can just skip this step, but I need it. Okay, now it smells so much better. Okay, so if you want a little bit more flavor, this is the base. You can even put a little bit more drip, like 1 to 2 drops of sesame oil. It will add a little bit of fragrance. All right, guys, here is my sesame oil. Smells really, really good. You just need 1 to 2 drops. If you put too much, it just becomes more oily and nasty. It's very rich type of oil. You don't cook with this, you just put it in your sauce. And now you smell it. Oh, it's smelling really good. So this sauce is actually different from some of the other recipes that I saw online, but this is how my grandparents make it, and they don't necessarily put the hot oil in there all the time, but I need the Laoganma. Here we go, I'll link it down below. This one, perfect. And the vinegar that I put in is the Zhenjiang Xiangcu. It's called Xinjiang vinegar. So a backstory of this is that this is the vinegar that almost every single household uses in China. Another thing is, this is the only one that I use since I was a little girl, since I was a child, since I could remember anything, because my grandpa is actually from Zhenjiang. This is actually the hometown. It's a place in China, and vinegar comes from different places. They have different recipe of making the vinegar, but this is the one that my grandpa grew up with, so that's why this is the only one my family will buy, just because this is something that my grandpa used to. But the quality of this one is supposedly better. It's more traditional recipe, I think, so I'll link it down below. The Zhenjiang Xinjiang vinegar. Any soy sauce, I use the low sodium just because. And after you put a hot oil, you can barely smell the ginger. Again, ginger powder is just because I didn't go to the grocery store to buy ginger, and I don't want to buy a whole piece of ginger just for this one particular piece for the sauce. And another thing I want to say, that the instruction says steam your dumplings in high heat, but my steamer was popping bubbles, so I had to lower it to medium heat depending on what stove you use. If you use the gas stove like us, make sure you turn it down to medium heat once the water is fully boiling. About 10 minutes, let's check it out. So if you come over here, you can see all the steams are going on. I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit and let it steam for another 2 to 3 minutes, and it should be ready to go. Alrighty, I think it's about time. Doo-doo. All right, let's take a look. Yay, those are the dumplings. They don't look like they're overcooked, which is great. I tend to overcook them a little bit, but I do like my wrappers to be a little bit softer than normal. So this is what it looks like. Cute! And the shape holds really, really well after you cook the dumplings. And those are really good size. Those are bite size. And technically, these dumplings are meant for like an appetizer or like a breakfast with a soup type of thing. Like you don't actually eat it on its own for the full meal. So these are perfect. Perfect. All right, let's try this out. Let's take them out. Guys, we're officially here. Those dumplings look so cute. They look cute and lovely. This is a success. Make sure you use some sort of like steamer sheets, parchment paper, so we don't get stuck, so you don't lose the soup, right? Nothing broke so far. I'm very happy about it. Alrighty, we're gonna have one of them being tried right now, like in this angle without any of the sauce, just so that what it looks like. So you usually take 2 bites with these things. The first bite is you bite on the top and you put some sauce inside and you take a look at the soup, and then the second bite is the whole thing. So let's take our first bite. Okay, the wrapper is a little bit thicker than what I would like, but look at the soup in there. Can you see it? Okay, the soup is coming out. So much soup, so juicy. I don't know if you guys can see the soup just now. Actually, the wrapper is not too thick. It's just a little bit thick on the top because of the, you know, the beginning, the folds. So here's the soup in here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like at the bottom, it's like swimming, the meatball is swimming in the soup. And then you take a second bite. I don't have the Chinese spoon, but this bigger spoon will work. You take a third one, right? And then you take a bite at the top. See the top wrap? The top of the wrap is a little bit thicker, but the bottom is not. The only reason why it feels a little thicker is the fold for the appearance. You don't see the soup from here, but if you peel to the side with your chopsticks, the soup are at the bottom, and it's pretty juicy soup actually. Is it as much as the soup as the Din Tai Fung? No, but at least it's intact with the soup in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump the sauce a little bit at the top, like this. You don't have to put too much sauce, just enough to flavor it a little bit. And then you take the whole bite. Honestly, it tastes so much better with the sauce. I like how it tastes on its own, but there is a strong pork taste. I think some people love it. Some people feel like it's a little bit too fatty, too strong. But the sauce, the vinegar in the sauce, a little bit of that chili oil really cut down the pork taste, and you can barely taste the ginger. So that is great, but the ginger helps to cut down it. So remember what I said is you get a spoon like this, right? And you take a bite at the top so it looks like this. Oh, you can see so much soup in there. So much soup. I don't know if you can see from this angle, right? And what you do is you pour the sauce inside of this dumpling. Okay, so now it's soup. The sauce is in the dumpling, and then you take one bite. It's not as good as the Din Tai Fung, but this is like a quarter of the price. Very meaty. The wrap to stuffing ratio is perfect. Flavor is perfect. It's not too salty. But you definitely need a sauce to enjoy this to the full extent. I would say without the sauce, this item is probably 7.5. It's great, but with the sauce, it's gonna be 8.5. I'll definitely buy this again, but you definitely need a sauce because the hot sauce just adds so much more flavor, and it just makes the flavor more nuanced, and it cuts down a lot of the greasy taste, the fatty taste of the pork. And it just makes the overall experience so much better, and there's so much soup in there already, and the sauce will mix into the soup, adds a little bit more of that savory, citrusy flavor, and that, like, I didn't put too much chili oil so you can barely taste it. You see so much soup in there. Tilt my spoon a little bit, you can see the soup from the side and the bottom, and it's a huge meatball in there, right? And love that. There's a little bit of that onion chives at the top. And remember, there's no right or wrong of the ratio of the sauce. It really depends on your personal taste. I did soy sauce to vinegar 2:1 ratio. So 2 of the low sodium soy sauce and 1 of the vinegar, 2 drops of the sesame oil, and about a small portion of the lao gan ma, and a little bit, like 1 piece of cut out ginger, or a tiny little bit of ginger powder. 8.5 with the sauce, 7.5 without the sauce. This xiaolongbao is a huge success. Do I prefer the chicken or the pork? I think personally, if you like other types of pork dumplings, if you like that Trader Joe's pork and ginger dumplings, you would definitely prefer the pork. It has a more fatty, richer flavor. But if you feel like that pork flavor is too fatty and greasy for you, definitely go for the chicken, which is a leaner. Personally, I feel like I prefer the chicken, but I can definitely see Brandon preferring the pork. It's definitely a repurchase item on our list. And with the Lunar New Year coming, this is a great appetizer if you're inviting other people to your family, and just use it as an appetizer or a snack or a little side dish or a breakfast dish. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you check out my chicken soup dumplings from Synear, the same brand. Comment down below if you found this item in your Costco or if you found the chicken variety. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!